Hello, and welcome to Wisdom and Wealth. In this channel, we delve into timeless wisdom to enrich your life, especially for those of you who, like myself, have navigated a few decades and are looking for deeper understanding and fulfillment. Today, we're exploring a profound question: what truly gives life meaning? We'll be drawing insights from the rich tapestry of Buddhist teachings. Before we dive in, if you appreciate content that encourages mindful living and helps you discover inner peace, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more enriching explorations. We really appreciate your support. The universal quest for meaning is something that unites us all. In today's world, we're surrounded by abundance. We have unparalleled comfort, groundbreaking technology, endless entertainment, and vast knowledge readily accessible. We're often told that if we work hard, secure a good job, acquire the right possessions, and build a financially stable life, we'll inevitably achieve happiness. But is that really true? Is that truly what life is about? And yet, despite these external achievements, many of us still sense that something fundamental is missing. Even when our lives appear complete from the outside, there's often a lingering emptiness within. We might find ourselves awake at night, questioning, is this all there is? There's a subtle feeling that something deeper is absent, something we can't quite put our finger on. This isn't a personal failing or some deficiency on your part. It's a profoundly human experience, one that resonates across generations. People have grappled with these same questions for thousands of years. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wisely observed, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Long before the distractions of modern life, wise individuals recognized that meaning doesn't stem from what we accumulate, but rather from how we perceive, how we live, and how we relate to the world within ourselves. If you're finding this discussion resonate with you, please consider subscribing to the Buddhist Doctrine channel. We'd love to have you as part of our community. So, why do we experience this quiet ache? Why are we perpetually searching? Buddhism offers a very clear and compelling answer. It begins with what's called dukkha, a word frequently translated as suffering, but encompasses much more than just physical or emotional pain. Dukkha is the pervasive sense of unease that runs beneath the surface of our lives. It's the stress that arises from change, loss, and the underlying fear that nothing truly lasts. Even moments of profound joy carry a subtle tension because we intrinsically know that they are fleeting, that they will eventually pass. Dukkha includes sorrow, disappointment, and the subtle dissatisfaction that follows even our most gratifying experiences, but Buddhism doesn't present this concept to depress or discourage us. The Buddha referred to it as a noble truth, not because suffering is inherently noble, but because recognizing it clearly is a sign of wisdom. It's the starting point on the path to liberation and freedom. Once we acknowledge dukkha for what it is, we can begin to release ourselves from the cycle of chasing illusions, from seeking meaning in external sources that ultimately cannot provide it. This very restlessness, this insatiable hunger for lasting significance, is a direct consequence of dukkha. When we sense that something is lacking, we instinctively attempt to fill that void with material possessions, with ambitious goals, or with fleeting distractions. But none of these external things can truly satisfy our deepest longings. Why? Because they are inherently impermanent. Everything changes. Everything eventually fades away. The more we cling to these external things, the more we perpetuate our own suffering. But to see this truth clearly is not a pessimistic or negative outlook on life. It's a profound breakthrough, the turning point where our search for meaning begins to shift. You are no longer trying to escape the truth of existence, but instead, you are ready to confront it with gentleness and honesty. That is the first, and most important step toward achieving inner peace. We often pose the grand question: what is the meaning of life? As if there's some singular, hidden answer waiting to be discovered, like a lost treasure or a secret code. Buddhism invites us to ask a different question, one that is far more empowering and transformative. How can I live a meaningful life? If you're enjoying this exploration of meaning and finding inner peace, please remember to like this video. This seemingly small change in wording has a profound impact. Meaning is not something we simply find out there in the external world. It is something we actively create through how we live, through our conscious awareness, through our actions, and through the quality of our presence in each moment. The Buddha never asked us to blindly accept his teachings. He invited us to carefully examine our own lives and to take personal responsibility for the path we choose to walk. In the Dhammapada, he beautifully states, "By oneself is evil done, by oneself is one defiled. By oneself is evil left undone, by oneself is one purified." Purity and impurity depend on oneself, no one can purify another. This is not merely a moral teaching, but a powerful message of personal empowerment. Meaning is not bestowed upon us from the outside, nor is it waiting for us at the end of some perfectly planned journey. It is constructed, day by day, through small acts of honesty and effort. It is cultivated through the way we perceive, the choices we make, and how we respond to the challenges that life presents. So, how do we begin this journey of creating meaning from within? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the Buddhist path and how it can guide you to a more fulfilling life. From a young age, we are often conditioned to pursue things that are external to us: success, material comfort, social status, and the approval of others. We are led to believe that if we only reach the next level, acquire the right job, find the perfect partner, or own a bigger house, then we will finally feel complete. And sometimes, we do experience a fleeting sense of satisfaction. A new achievement can bring a moment of elation, a compliment can make us smile, but before long, that feeling fades. A new desire emerges, a new goal replaces the old one. This isn't a flaw in us, but simply how desire functions. The Buddha vividly described this endless cycle of craving. In the Dhammapada, he states, "The craving of a thoughtless man grows like a creeper. He runs from life to life, like a monkey seeking fruit in the forest. We reach out, we grasp, and we hope that the next thing will finally bring lasting fulfillment. But it never truly does, because everything outside us is subject to constant change. Nothing remains permanent. Cars rust, jobs end, praise fades, and even relationships evolve and shift over time. External things can certainly be pleasant and even helpful, but they cannot provide deep and lasting peace. They are like wind passing right through open hands. Another common trap is seeking meaning in how others perceive us. We yearn to be admired and liked, fearing being disliked, forgotten, or ignored. Consequently, we perform, shaping ourselves to meet the expectations of others. But this path is inherently unstable. Other people's opinions are constantly fluctuating, like clouds blown by the wind. The Tao Te Ching beautifully captures this when it says, "Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner." If your sense of meaning is contingent on being praised, you will always be burdened by anxiety, living in fear of being misunderstood or rejected. True meaning cannot be borrowed from others. It must organically grow from within, cultivated through quiet integrity and living in alignment with what you deeply know to be right. If you appreciate these insights, please subscribe to the Buddhist Doctrine channel. We'd love to have you. This is where Buddhism offers something subtle yet profoundly powerful, the teaching of anatta, or not-self. This doesn't imply that you are nothing, nor does it deny your individual experience. Instead, it points to a deeper truth, that what we call me is not one fixed entity. There is no unchanging core within us. We are not solid, unmoving statues, but more like rivers, constantly flowing. Your body changes, your thoughts shift, your emotions come and go, and even your values and dreams evolve over time. What we perceive as the self is actually a dynamic process, a continuous dance of many interconnected parts. So, when we chase a single, rigid idea of life purpose, we inevitably suffer. We try to carve permanence into something that is inherently impermanent. This doesn't mean that life lacks meaning, but rather that meaning is not found in some final, definitive answer. It is discovered in the continuous act of living, in your choices, in your growth, and in how you show up for others, moment by moment. Don't pursue a rigid narrative about who you are supposed to be. Instead, pay close attention to what feels true in the present moment. Purpose is not a destination you arrive at, but something you actively practice, unfolding as you live and shifting as you grow. When you truly understand this, a quiet sense of freedom begins to emerge. You stop relentlessly asking, "What will finally make me matter?" and start asking, "How can I meet this moment with care?" That is where real meaning begins, not in what you gain, but in how you live. To guide us on this path, let's explore how we can cultivate meaning from within, by understanding the three pillars of the Noble Eightfold Path. If external things cannot provide us with lasting meaning, where can we turn? The Buddha offered a direct and practical answer. He did not speak in riddles or hidden symbols, but laid out a clear, testable, and profoundly human path. This is the Noble Eightfold Path, a system of training that helps us cultivate meaning from the inside out. While the path has 8 interconnected parts, they work together in harmony and can be grouped into 3 essential pillars: wisdom, prajna, ethical living, sila, and mental stillness, samadhi. Together, they form the foundation of a life that is not only good, but deeply meaningful. The first pillar is wisdom, or prajna. This begins with right view and right intention. Right view means seeing clearly how life actually works, recognizing that all things are subject to change and that nothing we cling to will last forever. It involves acknowledging dukkha, the subtle dissatisfaction that arises from trying to hold on to what is perpetually in motion. It also means understanding the truth of anatta, or not self, that what we perceive as me is not fixed, but a flow of ever-changing conditions. Finally, right view includes understanding karma, that our actions shape our experiences and that cause and effect are always at play. From this understanding, right intention naturally emerges. We begin to cultivate thoughts that are rooted in letting go, in goodwill, and in harmlessness. When we see clearly that nothing can be held on to indefinitely, we loosen our grip. When we grasp how our choices ripple outward, we move through the world with greater gentleness. A powerful way to cultivate this kind of wisdom is through mindfulness, noticing your breath, your thoughts, your sensations without judgment, just watching steadily. Over time, this kind of presence sharpens our vision, helping us see not only life's changing nature, but also the quiet meaning hidden in ordinary moments. Socrates once said, "An unexamined life is not worth living." In Buddhism, mindfulness is the method of examination, and it is through this honest and gentle attention that we begin to live with real depth. The second pillar is ethical living, or sila. Meaning is not solely found in how we think, but is built through how we live. This includes right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Right speech means speaking truthfully, kindly, and with purpose, avoiding lies, harshness, gossip, and empty talk, not because of blind adherence to rules, but because words shape the world around us. Right action means choosing behavior that protects life, respects others, and stays rooted in compassion, refraining from killing, stealing, and causing harm in our relationships. Right livelihood means earning a living in a way that supports, rather than harms, other beings. If you're finding value in this discussion on creating a meaningful life, please like this video and subscribe to the Buddhist Doctrine channel for more wisdom and insights. This pillar also calls upon 2 vital qualities: karuna, compassion, the wish for others to be free from suffering, and metta, loving kindness, the wish for others to be happy. When we speak and act from these places, something profound shifts. Our life becomes aligned, and we no longer chase meaning, we embody it. As the Buddha says in the Dhammapada, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. If a man speaks or acts with a pure thought, happiness follows him, like a shadow that never leaves him. Even the smallest gesture, a kind word, a sincere apology, or a helpful act, can carry immense meaning, not only for others, but for you as well, because each time you act from compassion, you are shaping a life worth living. To support both wisdom and ethical action, we need the third pillar, mental stillness, or samadhi. A restless mind cannot see clearly, nor can it feel peace. It jumps from thought to thought, reacting without pause. Samadhi includes right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Right effort means guarding the mind, preventing unwholesome states from arising, letting go of those already present, and nurturing states like calm, kindness, and clarity. Right mindfulness, as mentioned earlier, means being deeply aware of the body, feelings, thoughts, and mental objects, just as they are, without clinging or pushing away, and right concentration means training the mind to stay steady. Through meditation and focused attention, we cultivate inner silence, allowing us to hear the quiet truth beneath the noise. From this stillness, our actions become more deliberate and our thoughts more refined. We stop living on autopilot and begin to act from depth, not reaction. Neuroscience today confirms what ancient Buddhists knew: regular meditation literally changes the brain, reducing stress, improving focus, and strengthening empathy. A still mind is not a weak one, but a strong one that sees clearly and responds wisely. And from that kind of mind, a meaningful life naturally flows. To recap on our Buddhist explorations, if you like what you've seen, please subscribe to the Buddhist Doctrine channel. We often imagine that meaning lies far ahead, at the end of a journey, after we've transformed, after we've achieved something greater. But Buddhism points to a quieter truth: meaning is not a prize we win later, but the quality of how we live now. It is present in how we listen, how we breathe, how we respond to others, and how we meet each moment with care. You don't need to wait, you don't need to be someone else. The foundation of a meaningful life is already under your feet, unfolding in small, quiet moments. Moments where you bring your full attention, your honesty, and your kindness into what's right in front of you. You don't need to begin with anything grand. In fact, the most powerful place to start is small. Wash the dishes slowly, without rushing, noticing the warm water and the rhythm of your hands. Listen to someone speak without planning what you'll say next. Feel the sensation of 5 slow, mindful breaths. Then wish yourself peace, or silently offer that wish to someone else. These are not distractions from meaning, they are the practice of meaning itself. A meaningful life is not something complex, but something simple done with full presence. The more fully you show up for what's here, the more alive your life becomes. The Buddhist path is not made of rules to obey, but an invitation, a radical invitation, to look clearly at your own life and take responsibility for how you live it. No one can give you a meaningful life, no one can walk the path for you, you must take the steps yourself. You must water the seeds of understanding, of kindness, and of stillness, moment by moment. And the ability to do this already lives inside you. The Buddha's final teaching, just before his passing, was not about dogma, but about self-reliance. In the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, he said, "Therefore, Ananda, be a lamp unto yourselves. Be a refuge to yourselves. Take yourselves to no external refuge. Hold fast to the truth as a lamp, hold fast to the truth as a refuge. Look not for refuge in anyone besides yourselves." These words are simple, but they point to something powerful. Freedom and meaning are not things to be granted by others, but cultivated by living in alignment with the truth. And what about those who long for something ultimate, for a final resting place, a lasting peace beyond all striving? Buddhism does offer a profound response: Nibbana. But Nibbana is not a paradise, a destination, or a thing to possess. It is the complete letting go of clinging, of hatred, and of confusion. It is the end of dukkha, the end of the constant restlessness, the hunger, and the pushing and pulling that disturb the heart. Nibbana is not made, but uncovered. It is the unbinding of all that binds you, stillness untouched by birth or death, freedom with no conditions, and peace that is not dependent on circumstance. But even here, the teaching is clear: you do not find Nibbana somewhere else, you realize it by walking the path, by living with wisdom, with compassion, and with inner calm. Nibbana is the full flowering of the very practice you live today. It is the natural result of walking with attention and honesty, moment after moment. You may think of it as the light at the end of the path, but the path itself is already filled with light, if you look closely. So don't wait for meaning to arrive someday, live it now, in your breath, in your words, and in your choices. When you walk the path with full awareness, the destination quietly reveals itself in every step. That is where peace is, that is where meaning truly lives. Thanks for joining me today on Wisdom and Wealth. I really appreciate it.